ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमः शिवाय। अथ द्वादशोऽध्यायः। एवं सततयुक्तां ये भक्तस्त्वां पर्युपासते ये चाप्यक्षरमव्यक्तं तेषां के योगवित्तमः। श्री भगवानुवाच मय्यावेश्य मनो ये यं नित्ययुक्त उपासते श्रद्धया परयोपेतास्ते मे युक्ततमा मतः। ये त्वक्षरमनिर्देश्यमव्यक्तं पर्युपासते सर्वत्र गमचिन्त्यं च कुटस्थमचलं ध्रुवम् सन्नियमिन्द्रियग्रामं सर्वत्र समबुद्धयः ते प्राप्नुवन्ति मामेव सर्वभूतहिते रतः। कलेशोदिक्तरस्तेषाम् अव्यक्तासक्तचेतसाम् अव्यक्ता हि गतिर्दुःखं देहवद्भिरवाप्यते ये तु सर्वाणि कर्माणि मयि सन्न्यस्य मत्परम् अनन्यनेव योगेन मां ध्यायन्त उपासते तेषामहं समुद्धर्ता मृत्युसंसारसागरात् भवामि न चिरात् पार्थ मय्यावेशितचेतसां मय्येव मन आदस्व मयि बुद्धिं निवेशय निवसिष्यसि मय्येव अथ ऊर्ध्वं न संशयः अथ चित्तं समाधातुं न शक्नोषि मयि स्थिरम् अभ्यासयोग्येन तप्तो मामिच्छान्तो धनञ्जय अभ्यासेभ्य समर्थोऽसि मत्कर्म परमो भव मदर्थमपि कर्वाणि कुर्वन् सिद्धिं वपस्यसि अथेतदप्यशक्तोषि कर्तुमद्योगमाश्रितः सर्वकर्मफलत्यागं तथा कुरु यतात्मवान् श्रेयो हि ज्ञानमभ्यासात् ज्ञानं ध्यानं विशिष्यते ध्यानात् कर्म फलत्यागा स्यागच्छन्तिरनन्तरम् अदवेष्टा सर्वभूतानां मैत्रकरुण एव च निर्ममो निरहङ्कारः समदुःखः सुखक्षमी सन्तुष्टः सततं योगी यतात्मा दृढनिश्चयः मय्यर्पितः मनो बुद्धिर्यो मद्भक्त समे प्रियः यस्मान्नो द्विजते लोको लोकान्नो द्विजते च यः हर्षामर्षभयोद्वेगैर्मुक्तो य स च मे प्रियः अनपेक्षः शुचिर्दक्ष उदासीनो गतव्यतः सर्वारम्भ परित्यागी यो मद्भक्त समे प्रियः यो न रुष्यति न द्वेष्टि न शोचति न काङ्क्षति शुभाशुभ परित्यागी भक्तिमान् मे समे प्रियः समशत्रौ च मित्रे च तथा मानापमानयोः शीतोष्णो सुखदुःखेषु समसङ्गविवर्जितः तुल्यनिन्दास्तुतिर्मौनी सन्तुष्टो येन केनचित् अनिकेतस्थिरमतिर्भक्तिमान् मे प्रियो नरः ये तु धर्म्यामृतमेदं यथोक्तं पर्युपासते श्रद्धानामत परमा भक्तास्तेतीव मे प्रियः इति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीता उपनिषत्सु ब्रह्म विद्यायां योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्णार्जुन संवादे भक्ति योगो नाम द्वादशोऽध्यायः। अथ पञ्चदशोऽध्यायः। श्रीभगवानुवाच ऊर्ध्वमूलमदशाखम् अश्वत्थं प्राहुरव्ययम् छन्दांसि यस्य पर्णानि यस्तं वेद स वेदवित् अतस्वचोर्ध्वं प्रसुतास्तस्य शाखा गुणप्रवृद्ध विषयप्रवालम् अतस्य मूलान्यनुसन्ततानि कर्मानुबन्धीनि मनुष्यलोके न रूपमस्येह तथोपलभ्यते नान्तो न चादिर्न च सम्प्रतिष्ठम् अश्वत्थमेनं सुविरूढमूलम् मसङ्गशस्त्रेण दडेन चित्वं तत पदं तत्परिमार्गितव्यं यस्मिन् गता न निवर्तन्ते भूय तमेव चाद्यं पुरुषं प्रपद्ये यत प्रवृत्ति प्रसुता पुराणी निर्माणमोहजितसङ्गदोषाम् अध्यात्मनित्या विनिवृत्तकामं द्वन्द्वैर्विमुक्ता सुखदुःखसंज्ञैर्गच्छन्त्यमूढा पदमव्ययं तत् न तद्भासयते सूर्यो न शशाङ्को न पावकः यद्गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते तद्धाम परमं मम ममेवांशो जीवलोके जीवभूतः सनातनः मनःषष्ठानीन्द्रियाणि प्रकृतिस्थानि कर्षति शरीरं यदवाप्नोति यच्चाप्युत्क्रामतीश्वरः गृहीत्वेतानि संयाति वायुर्गन्धानि वाशयात् श्रोत्रं चक्षुस्पर्शनं च रसनं घ्राणमेव च अधिष्ठाय मनश्चायं विषयानुपसेवते उत्क्रामन्तं सितं वापिं भुञ्जानं वा गुणान्वितं विमूढानानुपश्यन्ति पश्यन्ति ज्ञानचक्षुषं यतन्तो योगिनश्चैनं पश्यन्त्यामन्यवस्थितं यतन्तोऽप्यकृतात्मानो नैनं पश्यन्त चेतसः यदादित्यगतं तेजो जगद्भासयतेऽखिलं यच्चन्द्रमसि यच्चाग्नो तत्तेजो विद्धिमामकं गामाविश्य च भूतानि धारयाम्यहमोजसं पुष्णामि चौषधी सर्वां सोमो भूत्वा रसात्मकः अहं वैश्वानरो भूत्वा प्राणिनां देहमाश्रितः प्राणापानसमायुक्तः पचान्यन्यं चतुर्विधं सर्वस्य च अहं हृदि सन्निविष्टो मत्तस्मृतिर्ज्ञानमपोहनं च वैदेश्च सर्वैरहमेव वेद्यो वेदान्तकृद्धेदविदेह चाहं द्वाविमौ पुरुषो लोके क्षरश्चाक्षर एव च क्षरः भूतानि कुटस्थोऽक्षर उच्यते उत्तमपुरुषस्त्वन्य परमात्मेत्युदाहृतः यो लोकत्रयमाविश्य बिभर्त्यवय ईश्वरः यस्मात्क्षरमतीतोऽहं मक्षरादपि चोत्तमः अतोऽस्मि लोकवेदे च प्रथितः पुरुषोत्तमम् यो मामेवमसम्मूढो जानति पुरुषोत्तमं स सर्वविदभजति मां सर्वभावेन भारत इति गुह्यतमं शास्त्रमिदं मुक्तं मया नघम् एतद्बुद्ध्या बुद्धिमान् यस्मात् कृतकृतस्य भारत इति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासु ब्रह्मविद्यायां योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्णार्जुनसंवादे पुरुषोत्तम नाम पञ्चदशोऽध्यायः. Is everybody here? One person. She's just gonna bring the coin. Right over. She's bringing the coin. Who's she? Hmm? Or she just got this. Oh, that is for keeping mama. Okay. Okay, so we all need to go by Jujesti ji. Jujesti. How do you spell it?
It's supposed to be Yudhishthir, but they made it to Jujesti. Yudhishthir became Jujesti.
Jujesti. Jujesti Chandra. Okay. So everybody, if you can come by Jujesti, and then everybody is taking one bowl. I'm keeping yours here.
You can go, madam.
महाराज जी उनके ऊपर थोड़ा अभिषेक कीजिए गंगा जल से. ओम आपो हिष्टामयो भुवस्तान ऊर्जे दधातनः महे रणाय चक्षसे यो वः शिवतमो रसस्य भाजयते हनहं उशतीरिव मातरः तस्मा अरंगमामहो यशस्य वाय जिन्वत आपो जन यथा चनहम्. ओम शुद्धबालः सर्वशुद्धबालो मणिवलस्तस्विनः शेतः शेताक्षुरुणस्य रुद्राय पशुपतये कर्णाजाम अवलिप्त रुद्रनभोरूपः पर्जन्यहम्. ओम भूर्भुवस्व जुदिश्चंद्र प्रेतस्य शुद्धोदक स्नानं समर्पयामि. ओम जे तीर्थानि प्रचरन्ति श्रेकाहस्तानि खंगिणः ते खग्गसहस्रयोजनेव धन्वानि तन्मसि. ओम भूर्भुवस्वहं जुजश्चन्द्रजी प्रेतस्य तीर्थोदक स्नानं समर्पयामि. ओम इदं विष्णुविचक्रमे टेढानिडे पटमं समूढमस्य पाग्वसुरेष्वाहम्. ओम भूर्भुवस्वहं जुजश्चन्द्रि प्रेतस्य तुलसीदलं समर्पयामि. And then coin also goes. Om Alankaranam Asiboyam Lankaranam Bhuyat. Okay, now everybody got a rice bowl. Before that, we need to do tika to dead. ओम त्वां गंधर्वा अखनम स्वामीन्द्रस्तं बृहस्पतिः त्वामोखदे सोमो राजा विद्वान्यक्ष्मादमुच्यतम्। ओम भूर्भुवस्वहं युजस्सुन्दरजी प्रेतस्य गन्धं समर्पयामि। ओम त्रायुखं जमदग्नेः कश्यपस्य त्रायुखं जद्देवे कुत्रायुखं तन्नो अस्तु त्रायुखम्। ओम भूर्भुवस्वः युजश्चन्द्रजी प्रेतस्य विभूतिं समर्पयामि. Okay, so you can take one. If anybody doesn't have one, everybody got one. So now you can get closer. And now when I say swaha or when I do that, you can offer a couple of pieces of rice where you are standing like that. Om mansa prajapatim dattvam prajapataye swaha idam prajapataye namamam. Om indrai swaha idam indrai namamam. Om agnaye swaha idam agnaye namamam. Om somai swaha idam somai namamam. Om yamai swaha idam yamai namamam. Om mrityave swaha idam mrityave namamam. Om brahmane swaha idam brahmane namamam. Om bhuh swaha idam agnaye namamam. Om bhuvah swaha idam vayave namamam. Om swaha swaha idam suryaya namamam. Okay, now instead, now kalpatam. When I do that, Om Ayur Jagnena Kalpatam, Om Prano Jagnena Kalpatam, Om Chakshur Jagnena Kalpatam, Om Shotram Jagnena Kalpatam, Om Vag Jagnena Kalpatam, Om Manno Jagnena Kalpatam, Om Atma Jagnena Kalpatam, Om Brahma Jagnena Kalpatam, Om Jyotir Jagnena Kalpatam, Om Swar Jagnena Kalpatam, Om Preshtam Jagnena Kalpatam, Om Jagno Jagnena Kalpatam. And now, in case any rice is left in your hand, you can take this from here. You can take in the right hand. If you don't have it. So when I do that, you can offer everything to Jujachandraji. Om Bhur Bhuvah Swaha Swaha Idam Prajapataye Namam. And then placing the bowl here, everybody, you can take your chair except Rajji and two other person can join you, do puja.
Can 4 people join or?
4 people, yeah. No problem. And before you sit down, we need one more chair. Okay, beta. If you can keep these coconuts in two corners in the casket, you can keep one in this corner. You can go there. Idam phalam maya devam sthapitam purutastava tena may saflapte bhavet janmani janmani. And if you can hold it like this. Om aswatto madhijato sitvadayam jayatam puna aso swargaya lokaya swaha jwalato pahatake. Om bhur bhuvah swaha swaha idam prajapataye namam. Okay, now one person sits here. Rajya, you are in the center. And one more chair here. Yeah, you can sit up. Shoes off, shoes off. Everybody shoes off. And then will be comfortable lighting up this candle. Be careful. Okay. Om Chandrama Manaso Jata Shaksho Suryo Ajayatam Shotraj Vayushya Pranashya Mukhadagni Rajayatam Bodhipadeva Rupastam Karma Saksi Yavignakrut Yavat Karma Samapti Syat Tavattam Sustiro Bhavam Om Bhurvaswaham Jujachandra Pretasya दीपम समर्पयामि ओम ब्राह्मणस्य मुखमासीत् बाहुराजन्यः क्रेताहम् ऊरु तदसर्वेश्यः पद्भ्यग्शूद्रो अजायतम् ओम भूर्भुवस्वहं जुतस्सन्दर्जि प्रेतस्य धूपम समर्पयामि. If anybody is allergic to this one, I can move it somewhere. The smoke, this one. Okay. यानि कानि च पापानि ब्रह्महत्या विनाशित केशान्यतिष्ठ तिष्ठन्ति तस्मात् केशान्वपाम्यहम्. And you take one little hair from your hair. Traditionally, they used to remove everything. Right. Symbolically, we can take one. Okay. And now, your this finger. Om pavitroste vaishnavyo saviturvah prasava utpunamya chidrenam pavitrena surya shirasmi bihi pavitrapati pavitra putta sayat kamaham punetachakeyam. Thank you. if you can hold it like this. Om tat chaksurdevahitam purastat chukramuchirata pashyema sharadaham satam jivema sharadaham satagosunu yama sharadaham satam pabravama sharadaham satamadinaha shyama sharadaham satam bhuyasya sharadah satatam. Om Granthi Devtabhyo Namah, Om Tantu Devtabhyo Namah, Om Yagnopavitam Paramam Pavitram Prajapatiryat Sahajam Purastad Ayushyamagram Pratimuncha Shubram Yagnopavitam Balamastu Tejaham Om Bhurvasvaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat Om Bhurvasvaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat Om Bhurvasvaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Okay. Now, if you can take a spoon. ओम अत्राद्य महामंगल्य पुण्य पवित्र मासोत्तमे मासे ज्येष्ठ पुरुषोत्तम मासे एकादश्याम तिथो बृहस्पति वासरे यथा वर्तमान नक्षत्र मुहूर्त समवाये एवं ग्रह गण विशेषण विशिष्टायाम शुभ पुण्य तिथो. आपको गोत्र पता है? आपका गोत्र बोले. काश्यप बोलो. काश्यप गोत्र. मम पितुः जुजस्ति चंद्र प्रेतस्य दाहार्थम उत्क्रांत्यादि पिंड प्रदानम अहम करिष्ये तथा पंचक जनित मरण दोष निवृत्तये उत्तल विधिम aham karishe. Water goes here, spoon goes back here. And now, as I said, there's a panchaki when he passed away. So we have to cremate these 5 statues. So if you can offer flower and then rice, once only once on each of them. Flower petals first and rice then. Om Vasoho Pavitramasi Shatadharam Vasoho Pavitramasi Sahasradharam Devastva Savita Punatu Vasoho Pavitrena Shatadharana Suptvam Kama Duksaham Om Vasubhyo Nama Vasum Avahayami Sthapyami Pujyami Om Varuno Stambanamasi Varunasya Skamba Sarjanisto Varunasya Ruta Sadanyasi Varunasya Ruta Sadanmasi Varuna se Ruta Sadan Masidam. Om Varuna in Varunam Avahayami Stapyami Pujyami, little bit ghee to each of them. You can take it again in case you don't need. ओम उतनो हिर्बुज्ञ सुणुत्वोज एकपति पृथिवी समुद्र विश्वे देवारुता रुदुहुवन सुत मंत्र कविसुस्ता अजंतु ओम अजेक पदम अजेक पदम अवहयमि स्थाप्यमि पूजयामि ओम शिवो नामासि स्वति तिस्ते पिता नमस्ते अस्तु मामा गुहिषि निवर्तयाम्य युखेन्नाद्याय प्रजननाय राय स्पोखाय सुपदा सूर्याय ओम महिर्बुज्ञम अवहयमि स्थाप्यमि पूजयामि ओम पुखंत ववृत्ते वयन्नरिखे मकदाचन स्तोतारस्मै हस्मिन् ओम पुष्ट नम पुष्टम अवहयमि स्थाप्यमि पूजयामि ओम मनोर्ज्योति जुगतां माजस्य बृहस्पति यज्ञमिमं तनोत्वरिष्टं यज्ञगुंसमिमं दधातु विश्वे देवा सैहमादयन्ताम् ओम प्रतिष्ठम ओम भूर्भुवस्वहं वस्वादि नक्षत्र देवताः अवाहिताः सुप्रतिष्ठिता वरदः भवतुम् ओम प्रेतवाहाय स्वाहम् ओम प्रेतसखाय स्वाहम् ओम प्रेतपाय स्वाहम् Om Preta Bhumipai Swaham, Om Preta Hartre Swaham. So we are secure now. If we do not do this, then something happens bad again. It happens every month. Panchaki. It's a collection of 5 constellations. And if during that time somebody passes away, we have to cremate these 5 statues first. And then we can go. And now we are going to do Pindan. Now, as you said, we have to wrap up earlier. So if I explain everything, then it will be longer.
You can explain.
Om Adya Purvacharithayam. Okay, now your Janaya, you can sit. Janya goes in here like that. Like that. Okay, yeah, right here. Okay, so with the left hand you can take water and like goes on the first pan 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. Om Adya Purvacharithayam Gargana Visheshana Vishishtayam Subhapunya Titham Kashyap Gotrasyam Jujashchandraji Pretasyam Jujashti Pretasyam Sau Nimittam Avane Janam Madattam Tavo Patishtatamam. So in our religion, Hindu religion, when somebody passes in the family, we totally offer 6 balls like this. It is because man has 5 senses. So once we pass away, we cannot hold those 5 senses. So for 5 senses, 5 balls. So suppose we are at home, back home in India. Where are you from in India?
Odisha. Odisha.
Orissa. So before we go to crematorium, we offer the first pin at home. It's semi-serve. It goes like this. O Madhya Purvacharithayam Gargana Visheshana Visheshtayam Sivapunyatiru. Once again, water. Kashyap Gotrashyam Jujesti Chandra Pretasya Shav Nimittam Avane Janam Madattam Tavo Patishtatama, using the spoon. Kashyap Gotrasya Jujesti Chandra Pretasya Shav Nimittam Eshate Pinda Hamadattam Stavo Patishtamam. Beta, you can offer 1, 2, 3, 4 on the top of the ball here. You can offer 1, 2 on the top. You can offer 1, 2, and you can offer 1, 2 on the top of the ball there. You can get closer if you want. ओम अद्य पूर्वच्चारितयं गर्गण विशेषण विशिष्टायां शुभपुण्यतिथौ काश्यप गोत्रस्य जुजष्टि चंद्र प्रेतस्य शवनिमित्तं पिंडे प्रत्यवने जनं गंधं पुष्पं यवाक्षतं तुलसी पत्रं धूपं दीपं नैवेद्यं मदत्तं तवोपतिष्ठामम्. As we go to crematorium, we have to go through the main entrance. In the door frame, second pin, same way. Om Adya Purvaccharitayam Gargana Visheshana Visheshtayam Subhapunyatithau Kashyap Gotrasya Jujashti Chandra Pretasya Dvardeshe Pantha Nimittam Avane Janam Madattam Tavo Patishtatamam. Kashyap Gotrasya Jujashti Chandra Pretasya Dvardeshe Pantha Nimittam Eshate Pindaha Madattam Stavo Patishtatamam. Kashyap Gotrasya Jujashti Chandra Pretasya द्वादशे पांथ निमित्तं पिंडे प्रत्यवने जनं गंधं पुष्पं यवाक्षतं तुलसी पत्रं धूपम दीपम नैवेद्यम मदत्तं तवोपतिष्ठतामम्. So the youngest person in the family carries a fire in an earthen pot, and we all stepping out of your house in Orissa, and we are lifting Jujeshri Chandraji. So when I say Sri Rama, please say Sri Ramam. Sri Rama, Sri Rama, Sri Rama. We are out of your house. Once we pass your street, society, colony, whatever we call, and when we go to the square where there is an intersection, the third ball, its name is Khecher. O Madhya Purvaccharitayam Gargana Visheshana Visheshtayam Subhapunya Tithau Kashyap Gotrasya Jujeshti Chandra Pretasya Chatvari Khecher Nimittam Avane Janam Madattam Tavo Patishtatamam. Kashyap Gotrasya Jujeshti Chandra Pretasya चत्वरि खेच निमित्तम एषते पिंडः मदत्तं स्तवोपतिष्ठतामं. काश्यप गोत्रस्य जुजष्टि चंद्र प्रेतस्य चत्वरि खेत निमित्तं पिंडे प्रत्यवने जनं गंधं पुष्पं यवाक्षतं तुलसी पत्रं धूपम दीपम नैवेद्यम मदत्तं तवोपतिष्ठतामं. So back home, even today, in some areas, four persons lift him on the shoulder and walk to crematorium. So we are following the traditional Agni Sanskar. And so um, they make a center point somewhere because the crematorium is always at the outskirt of the town or village where there is a river. So there is a distance most of the time. So they make a center point somewhere called rest area. Over there we have to place him and offer the fourth pin. O Madhya Purvaccharitayam Gargana. ओम अद्य पूर्वच्चारितयं गर्गण विशेषण विशिष्टायां शुभपुण्यतिथौ काश्यप गोत्रस्य जुजष्टि चंद्र प्रेतस्य विश्रांत भूत निमित्तम ए अवने जन्म मदत्तं तवोपतिष्ठतामं. काश्यप गोत्रस्य जुजष्टि चंद्र प्रेतस्य विश्रांत भूत निमित्तम एषते पिंडः मदत्तं स्तवोपतिष्ठतामं. काश्यप गोत्रस्य जुजष्टि चंद्र प्रेतस्य विश्रांत भूत निमित्तं पिंडे प्रत्यवने जन्म गंधं पुष्पं यवाक्षतं तुलसी पत्रं धूपम दीपम नैवेद्यम मदत्तं तवोपतिष्ठतामं. The 15, when we reach the crematorium. O Madhya Purvaccharitayam Gargana Visheshana Visheshtayam Subhapunyatithau काश्यप गोत्रस्य जुजस्य चंद्र प्रेतस्य चितास्थाने वायु निमित्तम अवने जन्म मदत्तं तवोपतिष्ठतामं. काश्यप गोत्रस्य जुजस्य चंद्र प्रेतस्य चितास्थाने वायु निमित्तम एषते पिंडः मदत्तं स्तवोपतिष्ठतामं. काश्यप गोत्रस्य जुजस्य चंद्र प्रेतस्य चितास्थाने वायु निमित्तम पिंडे प्रत्यवने जन्म गंधम पुष्पम यवाक्षतं तुलसी पत्रम धूपम दीपम नैवेद्यम मदत्तं तवोपतिष्ठतामं. तो बच्चे हमको भूमि तैयार करनी है. भूमि आजकल बच्चों को तो नहीं बता सकते क्या है. गौमूत्र है और गोबर है, तो उसको तो नहीं बता सकते, मगर मैं ये कर दिया. तो आप फ्लावर और राइस ऑफर कर दीजिए यहाँ पे. ओम भूरसी भूमिरस्य दितिरसि विश्वदाया विश्वस्य भुवनस्य धत्तिं पृथिवीं यच्छ पृथिवीं द्रुहं पृथिवीं माहिंसि. ओम पृथिवी त्वया धृता लोका देवी त्वं विष्णुना धृतां त्वं च धारय मां देवी पवित्रं कुरु चासनम्. ओम इदमापः ओम भूर्भुवः भूम्ये नमः स्वरूपचारे गन्धं पुष्पं कृतान् समर्पयामि. ओम इदमापः प्रभवता मद्यं च मलं च यतं यच्च विद्रुद्रोहा नृतं यच्च शेपे अभिरुणम्. आपो मात तस्मादेन सह पवमानश्च पुञ्चतु ओम भूर्भुवस्व सर्व भूम्ये नमः सर्वोपचारे प्रार्थनापूर्वकं नमस्कारान् समर्पयामि. So this is symbolic prayer. Back home we make a prayer using sandalwood sticks, hops, samidhas, and also symbolically I made the prayer to hear. Om apeto yantu panayo sumna deva piyavah asya lokah sutavataham dyubiraho biraktu birviktam yamo dadatva vasanamasme. And the last ball for the memory, sweet memories. Now, Jujesti Chandra came to this world. He also brought you, unfortunately, most tragically, or I say untimely because parents, however old are they, even if they are 150 years old, their death is always untimely, as there is only one father and one mother in life. So whatever sweet memories he had, he is going to carry with him. So last ball for the memories. O Madhya Purvacharityam Gargana Vishachana Vishishtayam Subhapunya Tithau Kashyap Gotrasya Jujasi Chandra Pretasyam Sauhaste Sadak Nimittam Avane Janam Madattam Tavo Upatishtatamam Kashyap Gotrasya Jujasi Chandra Pretasyam सौहस्य साधक निमित्तम एषते पिंड हमरितम स्तवोपतिष्ठताम काश्यप गोत्रस्य जुजस्टिचंद्र प्रेतस्य सौहस्य साधक निमित्तम पिंडे प्रत्यवने जनम गंधम पुष्पम यवाक्षतन तुलसी पत्रम धूपम दीपम नैवेद्यम मरितम प्रवतोपतिष्ठम फॉलो मी बोलो अनेन बोल अनेन पिंडदानेन काश्यप गोत्र मम पितुः जुजस्टिचंद्र प्रेतस्य सदगति उत्तम लोक प्राप्ति तथा दाहार्थम कपालाग्नि सिद्ध्यर्थम आज्येन समस्त व्याहृति तथा प्रायश्चित होमम करिष्ये. You can place it anywhere. And now, as I said, when we left the home, the youngest person in the family carried a fire in an earthen pot called matki. So we need to offer something inside the matki, and we are creating that fire here. Om Agni Dutam Puro Dade Havyavavahamo Pabruve Devam Asadayadiha Om Chatvari Srunga Trayo Asya Padadve Sirshe Saptahastaso Asya Tridha Baddho Vrukhaboro Raviti Mahodevo Martyam Avivesham ओम अग्ने वैश्वानर शांडिल्यासित देवलेति त्रिपवरान्वित भूमिर्मातहम वरुण पितः मेघध्वज प्रांग मुखो मम सम्मुखो भव. ओम अग्नये नमः सर्वोपचारथे गंधम पुष्पम समर्पयामि. टचिंग इट हियर, यू कैन प्लेस इट देयर हियर. यू कैन. ओम अग्नये नमः सर्वोपचारथे गंधम पुष्पम समर्पयामि. ओम अग्निं प्रज्वलतिं वंदे जातवेद हुतासनम हिरण्यवर्णमल्लम समृद्धो विश्वतो मुखम. दक्षिण तो ब्रह्मासनम. हे ब्रह्मन, हे विष्णु, हे महेश अत्र उपविशन्नम. ओम ब्रह्मणे नमः, ओम विष्णवे नमः, ओम रुद्राय नमः. सर्वोपचार प्रार्थना पूर्वकम नमस्कारान् समर्प. इफ यू कैन होल्ड इट लाइक दिस, and better if you can keep offering. This is purified butter, ghee. So if at regular interval you can keep offering inside, so he is going to repeat inside the. ओम मनसा प्रजापतिम धात्वम प्रजापतये स्वाहा इदम प्रजापतये नमः. ओम इंद्राय स्वाहा इदम इंद्राय नमः. ओम अग्नये स्वाहा इदम अग्नये नमः. ओम सोमाय स्वाहा इदम सोमाय नमः. ओम विष्णवे स्वाहा इदम विष्णवे नमः. ओम रुद्राय स्वाहा इदम रुद्राय नमः. ओम लोमभ्यः स्वाहा इदम लोमभ्य नमः. ओम त्वचे स्वाहा इदम त्वचे नमः. ओम लोहिताय स्वाहा इदम लोहिताय नमः. ओम मेदोभ्यः स्वाहा इदम मेदोभ्य नमः. ओम मांसेभ्यः स्वाहा इदम मांसेभ्य नमः. ओम स्नायुभ्यः स्वाहा इदम स्नायुभ्य नमः. ओम अस्थिभ्यः स्वाहा इदम अस्थिभ्य नमः. ओम मजभ्यः स्वाहा इदम मजभ्य नमः. ओम रेतसे स्वाहा इदम रेतसे नमः. ओम पायवे स्वाहा इदम पायवे नमः. ओम आयसाय स्वाहा इदम आयसाय नमः. ओम प्रायसाय स्वाहा इदम प्रायसाय नमः. ओम संयासाय स्वाहा इदम संयासाय नमः. ओम व्यासाय स्वाहा इदम व्यासाय नमः. ओम उद्यासाय स्वाहा इदम उद्यासाय नमः. ओम शुचे स्वाहा इदम शुचे नमः. ओम शोचते स्वाहा इदम शोचते नमः। ओम शोचमानाय स्वाहा इदम शोचमानाय नमः। ओम सौकाय स्वाहा इदम सौकाय नमः। ओम तपसे स्वाहा इदम तपसे नमः। ओम तप्यते स्वाहा इदम तप्यते नमः। ओम तप्तमानाय स्वाहा इदम तप्तमानाय नमः। ओम तप्ताय स्वाहा इदम तप्ताय नमः। ओम धर्माय स्वाहा इदम धर्माय नमः। ओम निष्कृत्ये स्वाहा इदम निष्कृत्य नमः। ओम प्रायश्चित्ते स्वाहा इदम प्रायश्चित्य नमः। ओम भेषजाय स्वाहा इदम भेषजाय नमः। ओम यमाय स्वाहा इदम यमाय नमः। ओम अंतकाय स्वाहा इदम अंतकाय नमः। ओम मृत्यवे स्वाहा इदम मृत्यवे नमः। ओम ब्रह्मणे स्वाहा इदम ब्रह्मणे नमः। ओम ब्रह्महत्याय स्वाहा इदम ब्रह्महत्याय नमः। ओम विश्वेभ्य देवेभ्यः स्वाहा इदम विश्वेभ्य देवेभ्य नमः। ओम दया पृथिवीभ्यां स्वाहा इदम दया पृथिवीभ्यां नमः। ओम भूर्भुवः स्वः स्वाहा इदम प्रजापतये नमः। आज ये काले तिल और राइस आप अंदर कोडिंग में अंदर ऑफर कर दीजिए। ओम क्रव्यादग्न नमः स्वरूपचार्थ तिलाक्षतान् समर्पयामि। ओम अस्वत्वमधिजातो शीत्वदयं जायतां पुनः असो स्वर्गाय लोकाय स्वाहां ज्वलतु पातके। ओम भूर्भुवः स्वः स्वाहा इदं प्रजापतये नमः। So we need to go by that कि गोविंद कृष्ण जय गोपाल कृष्ण जय गोपाल लाल बाल राधा कृष्ण जय गोविंद कृष्ण जय गोपाल कृष्ण जय गोपाल लाल बाल राधा कृष्ण जय 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 कृष्ण 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 जय कृष्ण 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 कृष्ण. I think it was chase. You can put it on the side. Then you can put it on the side. गोविंद कृष्ण जय गोपाल कृष्ण जय गोपाल लाल बाल राधा कृष्ण जय. Okay. Sorry for the mess. ओम तस्मादग्नात् सर्वहुतः संवृतं प्रकदाज्यं पशुंस्तांश्चक्रे वायव्या नारण्यग्राम्यांश. If you can stand here facing that, you can move this side and you're right, you're perfect. So everybody is going to hold this piece of cloth. You can hold these two ends. You can hold it, these two ends, and you can hold it from the center. Oh. Om tasmadagnaat sarvahutah samvratam prakadadyam pasungstamshchakre vayavya naranya gramyangshay. Om burbhasvaham Jujesti Chandra Biswal antim vastram samarpayami. We can cover him except the face. And now this garland. All of you. ओम सेवंतिका बकुल चंपक पाटलाब्जे पुण्यगजाति करवीर रसाल पुष्पै बिल्व प्रभाल तुलसी दल मालती बे स्त्वं पूजयामि जगदीश्वर मे प्रसीदम्. ओम भूर्भुवस्वहं जुजष्टि चंद्र प्रेतस्य पुष्पमालां समर्पयामि. Now, who is the youngest? Okay. So, beta, if you can hold this, but we have to balance the candle. So turn around that way. Okay. Now you can keep your right hand here. You can keep your right hand here. All the way back. Now counterclockwise, 4 times circling around grandpa. This is not walking. ओम आपो हिष्ठामयो भुवस्थान ऊर्जे दधातनः महे रणाय चक्षसे यो वः शिवतमो रसस्य भाजयते हनहाम उशतीरिव मातरः तस्मा अरंगमामहो यशस्य वाय जिन्वथ आपो जन यथा जनहम. ओम सप्तास्यासन परिदः श्रीः सप्त समिदः क्रेताः देवा यज्ञन् तन्वान् अबध्नन् पुरुखन् पशुमं यानि कञ्च पापानि जन्मान्तरकृतानि च तानि सर्वाणि नश्यन्ति प्रदक्षिणां पदे पदे. ओम हरि ओम नमस्ते रुद्रमन्यव उतोत इखवे नमः बाहुभ्यामुत ते नमः. जाते रुद्रशिवा तनूरघोरा पापकाशिनितयानस्तन्वा शन्तमया गिरिसन्ता बिचाकसिं. ओम यमायत्तु ओम ब्रह्मजगनानं प्रथमं पुरस्तात् द्विषीमतिसुरुचो वेन आवह सुबुज्ञा उपमा अस्य विष्टा सतस्य योनिमसतस्य विवहम्. ओम ब्रह्मणे नमः स्वरूपचार से प्रार्थना पूर्वकम नमस्कारं समर्पयामि। ओम इदं विष्णुवे चक्रमेटे दहनिडे पडम समूढमस्य पाग्गु सुरे स्वाहम। ओम विष्णवे नमः स्वरूपचार से प्रार्थना पूर्वकम नमस्कारं समर्पयामि। ओम हरि ओम नमस्ते रुद्रमण्यव उतोत इखवे नमः बाहुभ्यामुतते नमः जाते रुद्रशिवा तनूरघोरा पापकाशिनितयानस्तन्वा शन्तमया गिरिशन्ता बिचाकसिं। ओम रुद्राय नमः स्वरूपचार से प्रार्थना पूर्वकम नमस्कारं समर्पयामि। ओम यमाय त्वांगिरस्वते पितृमते स्वाहा स्वाहा धर्माय स्वाहा धर्म पित्रे। ओम यमाय नमः स्वरूपचार से प्रार्थना पूर्वकम नमस्कारं समर्पयामि। ओम प्रेता जयता नर इंद्रो वह शर्म जचतु उग्रा वह संतु बाहुना द्रख्यायता सतम। ओम तत्पुरुषाय नमः स्वरूपचार से प्रार्थना पूर्वकम नमस्कारं समर्पयामि। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुत स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यस्तवैः वेद साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदये गायन्ति यं सामगां ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसः पश्यन्ति यं योगिनो यस्यान्तन विदुः सुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः कृत्वा सुदुष्करं कर्म जानता वाप्य जानतं मृत्युकालवशं ज्ञात्वा नरं पञ्चत्वमागतं धर्माधर्मसमायुक्तं लोभमोहसमावृतं दहेयं सर्वगात्राणि दिव्यान् लोकान् स गच्छतु. If you can stand up for 5 minutes. So the ancestors who passed away in the family, like mom, any grandfather, any grandmother, any both the sides, any uncle, any aunt. So namaskar to all of them. Abrambastamba paryantam devarsi pitru manava trupyantu pittaras sarve matru mata mahadayam atita kula kotinam saptadipa nivasinam abrahma bhuna loka didamastu tirodakam ye bandava ye yanya janmani bandava te saratrupti mayantu mayadatyena varina yeke chasmat kule jata aputra gotrino muta ते गृणन्तु मया दत्तं वस्त्र स्मृदतमम् ओम देवः शान्तिरन्तरिक्षगुं शान्तिः पृथिवी शान्तिरापः शान्तिरोखदयः शान्तिः वनस्पतयः शान्तिर्विश्वे देवाः शान्तिर्ब्रह्म शान्तिः सर्वगुं शान्तिः शान्तिरेव शान्तिः शामा शान्तिरेधि यतो यतः समीहसे ततो न अभयं कुरु शन्नः कुरु प्रजाभ्यो भयन्नः पशुभ्यः ॐ शान्तिः 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 सुशान्तिर्भवतु. So according to our rituals, we touch the live fire. So now, even if they do not let us anything over there, we are fine. We did our job. And also, in order to cool down the cheetah here, we have to do this. Now, at this point, um, आपको रज्जी यहाँ पे रखना है with the help of left hand on the right shoulder. Now you are going clockwise this time 4 times, and from the back side there are 4 of them, right? One person can take one turn each, or one person can do four, whatever. So as you keep walking from the back side, they will be offering milk in the corner here. If we are in India, we do it on the floor. We can do that here. So this cooling down the pier, the flames and everything. Om. ओम अद्य पूर्वोच्चारितयं गर्गण विशेषण विशिष्टायां शुभ पुण्यतिथौ काश्यप गोत्रस्य जुजश्चंद्र परितस्य चितादाह उपशमनार्थं च you can finish the whole circle. दाहजन पीड़ा उपशमनार्थं च इदम उदकांजलिस्य उपतिष्ठताम्. We are going 4 times. ओम अद्भ्यः संव्रतः पृथिवी रसच्च विश्वकर्मणः समवर्तताग्रे तस्य त्वष्टा विद्द्रूपमेति तन्मर्तस्य देवत्वा महाजनमग्रे. ओम वेदाहमेतं पुरुखं महन्तमादित्यवर्णं तमसः परस्तात् तमेव विदित्वा ते मृत्युमेति नान्यः पन्था विद्यते यनायम्. ओम प्रजापतिश्चरति गर्भे अन्तर्जायमानो बहुधा विजायते तस्य योनिं परिपश्यन्ति धीराः तस्मिन्नः तस्सुर्भुवनानि विश्वा. ओम जो देवेभ्यो आतपति जो देवानां पुरोहितः पूर्वो जो देवेभ्यो जातो नमो रुचाय ब्रह्मये. ओम रुचं ब्रह्म्यं जनयन्तो देवा वा अग्रितद ब्रुवन्नम जस्त्वैवं ब्राह्मणो विद्यतस्य देवा असन्वसे ओम श्रीश्चते लक्ष्मीश्च पत्न्या वहो रात्रे पार्श्वे नक्षत्राणि रूपमशनो व्यात्तम इष्णन्निखाण मम्मयि खाण सर्वलोकं मयि खाणम ओम अनादिनिधनो देव शंखचक्र गदाधर अक्षय पुंडरीकाक्ष प्रेतमोक्ष पदुभौम अतसि पुष्प संकासं पीतवास्य समुच्यतं येन मस्यन्ति गोविन्द तेषां विद्यते भवम् कृष्ण कृष्ण कृपालत्वम् अगत्यनां गतिर्भवम् संसरणम् अग्ननं प्रसीद पुरुषोत्तमं नारायण सुरशिस्तु लक्ष्मीकांत वरप्रद अनेन तर्पणिनाथ प्रेतमोक्ष प्रभुं हिरण्यगर्भ पुरुषो व्यक्ताक्त स्वरूपिणी अस्य प्रेतस्य मोक्षार्थं सुप्रीतो भव सर्वदा ओम देव शांतिरंतरिक्ष गों शांति पृथ्वी शांतिरापः शांतिरो नाउ पकड़िए यहाँ से और एज इफ लाइक यू आर थ्रोइंग इन द बैक ये छोड़ दिया आपने और ये हमने तोड़ दिया इफ वी आर इन बैक होम वी ड्रॉप इट ऑन द फ्लोर एंड ब्रेक इट लाइक दैट now needless to say you are going to apologize. I have to apologize. I have to ask Jujesti Chandra that doing your last rituals, if I made any mistake, please forgive me. So obviously you are going to say something to him in case you hurt his feelings at some point in life. And you can also say that, Dad, we wish you attain the moksha only. The punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani jatan, the vicious circle of death and birth. We wish you finish it and you attain moksha only. But in case, according to karmas, you are to be reborn, then we love you so much that we don't even want to go to anybody else. If we deserve you, please make us your son or grandchildren once again in the next birth if possible, anything like that. And also, Jujesti Chandra is leaving us. He prays to God first and says a couple of words to us. What he prays to God is, "O most merciful God, I repent for all my sins." Now, such a holy soul can commit any sin, but sometimes when we kill the insects or when we lie, it is also a part of sin. So, O most merciful God, I repent for all my sins, for every thought that was false or unjust or unclean, for every word spoken that should not have been spoken, every deed done that should not have been done. I repent for every deed, word, or thought inspired by selfishness or hatred or lust. I repent for every lustful action and thought, for any lie, for any hypocrisy, for every promise given but not fulfilled, and for any slander or backbiting. In your unbounded mercy, I ask you to forgive me in case I did anything like that. And last but not least, he prays to God that, "Oh God, please forgive me and my family for our constant failure to think, speak, and act according to your will. We don't follow his will. That's why he's asking for the apology." And now he says a couple of words to us. He says, "I'm very thankful to all of you for being here on my last exit or departure from this planet. Those who couldn't make it, I understand. But at least you are here." And he says that if during the life, he says, if I hurt you or your feelings, he says, I apologize. In case you hurt me, you already have my forgiveness, his forgiveness. And he wants you to carry on the legacy. He wants you to be very happy, healthy, prosperous in all the areas of your life. Saying that physically, I'm not going to be there. But along with my wife, that's your mom, I'll be always there to protect you. Subham Bhavatu, Kalyanamastu, Arogyamastu, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. And thank you very much for allowing me to do puja for such a great soul. And during the puja, you respected him by not talking and everything. That's his respect, my respect too. I bow down to everybody. You can take your chair. And now I hand over to families and friends. Those who want to share the memory, or if you want to say something, grandkids, you can come to the podium here. Should we get Krishna? Still my microphone. I think. Let me get it. See as a microphone. Do you have microphone? Do you have microphone?
This, yeah. Right. Yeah. Anyway, so we're okay to market. One second. No, this is good. This.
Okay, wait.
Testing.
Work?
No, that's for you.
Oh, okay. Perfect. Oh,
It's very good.
no.
You.
Okay. No, that's fine. Thanks. Anyway, so J.C. Biswal, no matter what parameters we use, he had a remarkable life. So you have to kind of take a step back and just get a bird's eye view of him. He was born in pre-independence India. So, obviously we don't know when he was born yet, the 1933, 35, somewhere in the 30s. But you have to understand that, India got his independence in 1947. So he had to be a teenager. So he must have experienced some form of British rule, even though he came from a very small town. So theoretically, it is possible that he did not, that area just was not subjected to some of the rules that the British employed. But you have to believe that he must have known that something was going on, that India was ruled by somebody else. Anyway, so after 47, the family that we actually from the eastern part of India, Odisha. The family, not really sure the date, but after 47, they moved to Rajasthan, the western part, in a town called Ajmer. He actually went to school with royalty, like literal royalty. There were princes in his class. That's the level, because Rajasthan was ruled by a lot of the small kingdoms over there. So he actually went to school with the princes. So again, you can understand his princely attitude once in a while. He got an early start on that. In 1954, he went to Scotland for his higher education. But the fun fact here is he was sent there to study medicine. That's key, right? Now it should all kind of add up as to what his thought process was. But anyway, he got his degree in mechanical engineering, came back to India in 59, and he worked in Goodyear Corporation, the tire corporation. And he actually was, from what I'm told, he had a pretty good trajectory. He was really he was headed for one of the top positions in Goodyear. But for whatever reason, he wanted to work for a multinational company, so he ended up changing jobs. Really around 62, he changed his job, and at 63, married a wonderful woman. And at 69, when the job and the opportunity came to move abroad, he came to United States. So he's now in New York City in 1969, living in really hostels and hotels. And eventually, when the job stabilizes, he moves to New Jersey. He works for Robbins Engineers and travel the world with Robbins. Like his stories are legendary about the places he's gone, the hotels he's stayed, the restaurants that he visited. And him and his boss in those days used to fly in Pan Am Clipper class. Clipper class was what we think is basically the Etihad's first class nowadays, and they flew so much that the stewardesses apologized. There were only stewardesses in those times. When him and his boss would walk into the plane, they would actually have a martini ready for them, because that's how much they flew. So that's the level of I guess influence these two had as they were traveling. And in Robbins, he made some wonderful friends, and it's really difficult to name them all, but I'm going to just hit a few. First and foremost was Martin and Margaret Vanderland. So Martin Vanderland was his boss, and the story goes is that again, remember this 1970, they're going to fly to Amsterdam on business, and the secretary asks sheepishly, "Where is Biswal going to sit?" Because you have to understand, Martin Vanderland's white, Biswal is not white, and it is understood that he's going to fly economy, and Vanderland is going to fly for flight clipper class. And Vanderland's comment was, "He sits where I sit," and that was it. So that's Martin Vanderland. Margaret Vanderland, his wife, always there.
if there ever was a father figure for him in this place, it is Margaret and Martin Vanderland. Another one is Wes Ewing, an Australian gentleman who essentially got the job for him in Robbins. And again, going back to the racial discrimination, because he was Indian, he could only get paid an Indian salary, not an American salary. Even though he lived in this country, he would get paid as an Indian. So if you can just imagine the economic difference over there, what a difference the salary would have been. West basically somehow finagled a way that he got the same salary as every other American employee. And that's the kind of level of friendships he had, you know. And uh, and then he also had people like Harry and Inga. Kind of crazy to have been with those two over there. The amount of help they gave him during in Wayne to settle in. You had Bernice and Reese and sorry Russell and Nisi Rice, who really had taken him in, as their family member. Every Thanksgiving, Easter, Christmas was spent with them. You had Tony and Severina. You had Joe and Loretta. The names just go on and on. Angelo. I mean, it's kind of crazy. You had to have gone. You should go bowling with them every Thursday on the fall was bowling league. Besides bowling, the amount of beers that were drunk, but like they really were a good crowd. So 1974, he completes his MBA, becomes a project manager for Robbins, and in 1990, for whatever reason, the company decided to move to Denver, and a lot of the workers they moved to Denver over there. And my mother and him, they definitely had the best social time for 10 years in Denver. They absolutely flourished. It's hard to describe how what a joyous time they had from Wayne to Denver. But in this time, to especially towards the end of the 90s, he began to get dissatisfied with the company. He felt he really was not getting the fair shake, and he really was unhappy. So, and this is what now you should get an insight on this guy. When he's 65, when pretty much most of us have either retired or looking to retire, he actually changed jobs. And that's it's not just a change in jobs. Robbins was essentially a corporation that did conveyor system. Besides making, escalators and luggage, the luggage carriers at airports. In fact, if you look at some of those escalators and the luggage return, you will see O and K, Robbins O and K. You'll actually notice it that it's over there. And I think we've gone and seen on just before Albany off of New York Thruway. It's one of the projects where Robbins had done a project of moving ores, minerals. It's probably a mile long conveyor system, all covered and everything. So this is what Robbins did. So he leaves Robbins after working there from 69 to 90, essentially, basically 20 odd years. Uh, no, actually, no, 99, so it's the 30 years, sorry. So after 30 years, he comes in and joins Fuller Corporation in Allentown, PA. What does Fuller do? It makes cement plants. So imagine going from conveyor system to cement plants. That'd be like me, a radiologist, so I say, you know what, I'm going to be a pediatrician. I have to relearn everything, basically. So this man, I remember him, he had binders upon binders about how the cement plant works, you know, how, how to basically get everything going. He studied all that at 65 and had a few setbacks in the first 6 months, and then he landed a job at the project in Phoenix Cement, a little south of Sedona. In fact, I think you and I drove by there over there, not drove by like the town where Phoenix Cement is. It is $100 million project that he made about 15 or 17% profit for the company over there. This is the guy right before retirement at 69, 68, 69. That is what that is what he did. And it's kind of funny because at one point somebody has stated that, oh, I'm more successful than my father. And I had to say, what defines success? I've definitely made more money than he ever did or he ever would have ever, but I can't even manage $100, let alone $100 million project. And this guy knew every dot, every Excel cell. He knew where everything was, how it moved, and he just a steel trap memory. It was just fantastic over there, you know. But with all these accomplishments, there's one that I think that that I think he was the most proud of. That's to be a grandfather. You know, I've not seen anyone embrace being a grandfather like him. But maybe not you, Kevin. You know, you're a good competition over there. There was never a face. There was never a time that his face didn't light up when he saw you guys over there. You know, I mean, you again, you got to take a look at the guy's arc. Not somebody who really had dealt with children to have just jumped in head first. You know, I don't think there's a time he was not. He had. I mean, I think you see them in pictures over there. You know, but anyway. But we should remember him as a perfect gentleman, right? He always wanted to do the right thing, and he always did an enormous amount for other people. So he really did have a remarkable life. I mean, in all said.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. My speech is very, very short. I'm very happy that everybody is here, and the families always has been very, very important to me. My speech is going to be as short as possible, I promise. And thank you all for coming to support my beautiful family. I met JC and Renew many years ago, over 30 years ago, and over the years I learned how caring they both were. Despite all the hardship of coming to a brand new country, leaving all they knew and their families behind, they managed to support each other, their son, and whoever needed help back in India. Grandma, Renew, was especially skillful in that. From the allowances she was given, she always managed to save for the people in need and was able to run the ship so her husband and her son were always taken care of. Despite all their differences and rocky start, they managed to stay committed till the last day of their lives. They cared for each other in the way many of us cannot comprehend. And I admire them for that. Their caring and selflessness made it possible for our family to grow. There's a long list of good deeds. Grandma massaging my body when I was on bed rest with triplets. So many sleepless nights, helping to feed 3 little monsters. They were always hungry and needed diaper change. Cooking for them and making sure in her own ways that one day you guys will become solid citizens. Grandpa carrying the little ones around, especially very needy little baby Dylan, who always needed some extra help, driving them to school, after school activities, speech pathologies, basketball. The list is endless what Grandpa has done for us. I do appreciate having both of them in my life. With them both passing, it feels like an end of an excellent era. Funny stories in my life and in their life. Grandpa asked if I took a fertilizer when I was pregnant with triplets. Ali, at the age of 5, decided to tell Grandpa she was pregnant. The smart man sent her to discuss it with her mom. He didn't want to deal with the pregnancy at the age of 5. Ali, out of nowhere, sitting in the car next to Grandma, asked when she was going to die, as if this was the most interesting topic to discuss. Grandma just laughed. Grandpa was trying his best to cover up little interaction with the police, driving with Ryan, but of course, the secret was out as soon as Ryan got home and Grandpa got caught. By the way, I hit Grandpa's car, pulling out of the garage, and not on purpose, I promise, twice. And he said nothing. He must have thought I was really the worst driver ever. For a while, he was parking his Lexus on the street. I wish there were more time spent together, but sadly, as most of the life stories go, we are in a rush, trying our best to raise and support the families that we create. And we postpone and delay for tomorrow, but tomorrow will never come, may never come. So let's embrace each other and give each other a big group hug like we are one big family. And let their souls reunite like we are uniting here for them on the way out. Thank you all. Hugs. Sorry, I don't want to talk too much, but I just want to say thank you for being part of the family. And nobody mentioned it, but I think one of the best decisions in his life was marrying his wife. And I really appreciate this greatly, and you guys greatly, and Grandpa and Grandpa, for the whole family always were and will be, for my children and for us, and wonderful people, really. And we're just very blessed to have them in our lives. Thank you very much.
It's opportunities. If anybody else want to share the memory, you can please come to the podium. Did we order three?
No, two.
Okay. What is the repair? One. So, Krishnan, on behalf of Biswal family and the entire Indian community and everybody present here, we thank you very much for your kind services. Also, thank you very much for referring me to the family. And I had a chance to service this service gentleman. Because of you, we are able to do better than back home. Thank you very much.
Of course. Thank you. So I would just like to offer my prayers and condolences to everyone. I'm so sorry for your loss. Thank you for placing your trust in me again. I know it's comforting to know that families can call on me to trust me and take care of their families. So it's important to me. Thank you. Maharaj Kamlesh, thank you so much for leading us in the prayers and the rituals. Always an honor to have you. And Gunjesh Desai, thank you for doing the live stream for those that cannot be with us. That's important also. At this time, I would like to give everyone the opportunity to come forward past the casket. We ask if you take flowers, you can leave your flowers as a final tribute. Then you can offer your condolences to the family. We have some time yet before we have to leave. We have about a half an hour or so. So we just ask that you come down the left side. You can take flowers, greet the family, and then we'll have you, remain here. We will be traveling to Franklin Memorial Park for cremation. You're not required to go, but you are invited if you would like to support the family. And that's it. Thank you. Clockwise? Okay. Uh, The priest would like you to go clockwise, so if you take flowers, you can walk around the back. If the family wishes to stay seated, because we do have time, otherwise you can stand on the side, but however you're comfortable. Thank you.
Yeah, you can.
So you could take flowers here and then go around the back, that's fine. Please.
यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन जमुना तीर बनचारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी 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 जय गोपी जन वल्लभ जय गिरिवरी धारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ जय गिरिवरी धारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन जमुना तीर बनचारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय राधा जय कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव 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 जय कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ जय गिरिवरी धारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ जय गिरिवरी धारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन जमुना तीर बनचारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी
We are done here.
जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी